Hi student, have you ever thought about how our body is composed and formed so it can perform daily activity? This happens because of the several systems in our body. This lesson will focus on discussing the musculoskeletal system, the neurobehavioral system, and the cardiovascular system within the body. Before going further into discussion of this system, we must first learn the basics, the fundamental of human anatomy and physiology, as well as the components in the human body such as cells, tissues, and other components. Anatomy comes from Latin ana, which means part, and tomi, which means cut. Anatomy is a science that studies the form and structure of the body, both as a whole and part by part, as well as the relationship between these parts. Meanwhile, physiology comes from a word physis, which means nature or function, and logos, which means science. Physiology studies how tissues, organs, and body system works in the normal states. When combined, anatomy and physiology become a unified science that complement each other. In anatomy, several body planes are known. The sagittal planes divide the body into left and right sides. The frontal or coronal planes divide the body into front and back part, while the transverse planes divide the body into upper and lower parts. To facilitate orientation, the basic anatomical position used. The body stands upright with the head facing forward, arm at the side of the body with palms open and facing forward, and legs straight with toes facing forward. From this position, we can recognize direction terms such as superior for upper parts, inferior for the lower part, anterior for the front, posterior for the back, medial for approaching in midline of the body, and lateral for moving away from it. Next is cells is the basic unit of life. The function is first is obtain nutrients and O2. Next is produce energy, remove waste, synthesize proteins, and reproduce. The main part of the cells first is cytoplasma, is fluid place of organelles. Next is cell membranes, semi-permeable regulates and substances, and next is nucleus, controls center, stores DNA. Next is ribosome, is for protein synthesis, and then Golgi apparatus, process and package proteins, and then lysosomes digest waste materials. Last is mitochondria for energy production. Tissue is a group of similar cells forming a unit. There's 4 types. The first is epithelial tissues, is lining, protection, and absorption. Next is connective tissues, support, connect, and strengthens. And then next is muscle tissues, contraction of movement. And then the last is nervous tissue, neurons and glial cells. Thymus impulse regulates activities from CN or brain. Next is about musculoskeletal. First is the muscular system, is the dynamic core of movement, a contractile network whose ability to shorten and lengthen produce all our physical action. Force originates from skeletal muscle, which is a voluntary tissue or under conscious control, interstitially composed of functional units called sarcomeres. It is within the sarcomer that the molecular dance occurs between the protein filament myosins or thick and actin or thin. When the brain gives us command, the myosins head pulls the actin, causing the muscle to contract. Next is the skeletal system, provides the hard architecture that supports, protects, and serves as leverage points for muscles, consisting of about 206 bones and belts. Bone itself is a unique living tissue composed of bone cells or osteocytes. And then muscle structure and types. There are skeletal muscles, work voluntary, moving the body, and then cardiac muscle, work involuntary, pumping blood, and then smooth muscle, regulate internal organ functions such as digestions, and then next is muscle are composed of sarcomer units, or actin and myosin that enable contraction. And then next is muscle contraction produce movement and maintain body temperature or thermogenesis. And then mucus or muscular system. First, the system consists of muscle, fascia, and tendon. Rest. Muscle make up 43% of body weight, within muscle content being more than 1 out of 3 protein and half of it being the site of metabolic activity when the body is at rest. Next is axial and appendicular skeleton. Axial skeleton, head, cranium, and spine protect the central nervous system, and an appendicular skeleton forms limbs, arms, and legs. Joints connect bones and enable movement. Movement include flexion, extension, abduction, adduction, and rotation. Next is mechanism of muscle contraction. Electrical impulse from motor neurons trigger the release of acetylcholine at the neuromuscular junction. Ca2 plus ions are released from the sarcoplasmic reticulum and bind to troponin C. Cross-bridge formation occurs between action and myosin sliding filament mechanism. This process is called excitation, contraction, and coupling, with the role of ATP in contraction and relaxation. Next is coordination and control of movement. The nervous system reflex and proprioception regulate body movement. Joint and muscle structure work together to maintain posture and balance. Muscle, spindles, and Golgi tendon organs help control the string contraction. This coordination enables efficient and controlled body movement. Next, we're going to anatomy neurobehavior. There's central nervous system that contains brain or encephalon, truncus cerebri, and spinal cord. And then there's peripheral nervous system. There's cranial nerves and spinal nerves. There's brain. It contains right hemisphere, left hemisphere, and then there's corpus callosum, cerebrum, cerebral cortex, thalamus, hypothalamus, pituitary gland, pons, reticular activating system, cerebrum, and medulla. There's spinal cord, cerebral spine and vertebrae. There's 7 vertebrae, and then there's thoracic spine vertebrae. There's 12. Lumbar spine vertebrae containing 5, and then sacrum and cocci. And then we're going to physiology, neurobehavior. The neurobehavioral system describes how the nervous system, especially the autonomic nervous system or sympathetic and parasympathetic, influence and regulate various body response and individual action. The sympathetic nervous system prepares the body for the fight or flight reaction by increasing heart rate and respiration or sympathetic, while the parasympathetic system calms the body and activates function like digestion for recovery and relaxation. The interaction of these two nervous systems maintains body balance, homeostasis, and affect behavior from responding to daily activities. Last is cardiovascular system. The cardiovascular system is crucial for maintaining life. It pumps blood, carries oxygen, and distributes nutrients throughout the body. It consists of the heart, blood vessel, and the circulatory system. The heart serves as the main hub of this system. The heart is located in the chest cavity or mediastinum, tilted slightly to the left. It's comparable in the size of a clenched fist. There is superior vena cava, right pulmonary veins, right atrium, right ventricle, inferior vena cava, aorta, pulmonary artery, pulmonary veins, left atrium, left ventricle. And then blood vessel. Blood vessels are the pathways for blood transport. Arteries carry blood away from the heart, and then veins return blood to the heart. And then there's capillaries, site of exchange between blood and tissues. The walls of a blood vessel contains of tunica intima or smooth, tunica media for smooth muscle, and tunica adventia for proceptive. And then is cardiovascular physiology. Three main types of circulation. First is systemic or large. Left ventricles go to entire body and then go to right atrium. The second is pulmonary or small. Right ventricle goes to the lungs and then go to left atrium. The last is the coronary. The blood supply to the heart muscle itself. And then there's cardiac cycle. Diastole, heart relaxes, blood enters, and then systole, heart contracts and blood exits. Heart sounds, there's S1 and S2 for normal, S3 and S4 can indicate abnormalities. Blood pressure. Systolic when the heart contracts and diastolic when the heart relaxes. MAP or mean arterial pressure, average blood pressure. Influenced by peripheral vascular resistance. Substance exchange occurs in the capillaries through diffusions, osmosis, filtrations, and reabsorptions. Relationship between body system and brain awareness. Awareness encompasses cognitive processes, emotions, and perception. It is the result of the work of three main systems. First is neurobehavioral or neurosystem. The brain acts as the control center that processes sensory information, generates thoughts, and determines actions. Second is autonomic nervous system. Regulates mental readiness, increases alertness. Sympathetic calms the body, or parasympathetic. The third is cardiovascular system. Supplies oxygen and glucose to tell brain to maintain stable neural function. The role of musculoskeletal system in awareness. The musculoskeletal system enables the body to move and interact with the environment. It provides sensory feedback or proprioceptions to help the brain recognize body position and movement. Awareness is the result of synergy between three main systems. Nervous system for regulates and leads, cardiovascular system for provides energy, and musculoskeletal system for execute action.